Hi, this is Stefan Gonick, International Love Coach and EFT practitioner from FindAndLoveYouWant.com. Welcome to Love Talk Q&A, the place to be to get your questions answered about finding and keeping the love of your life. In this episode, I'm going to be answering the following question. Hi, Stefan. I lost my husband 3 years ago. I'm very lonely, but I was wondering that now that I'm 72 years old and I'm told that I'm attractive and loving, am I too old to find love again? Now, this is actually probably the most common question I get of all the questions that I hear over and over again, particularly from women who, are a little more mature of age. Sometimes it happens as early as 50s, often by 60s, very often by 70s. And so it's extremely common, and it's actually a very hard one to escape. Which is why it's so common, because there seems to be evidence to support this fear, to support this belief that, maybe it's just too late for me, I'm too old now to find love, particularly as a woman. So, for instance, there's a certain reality that, women live longer than men, so as a woman gets older, there'll be fewer and fewer men, and so there'll be fewer men to pick from, there'll be more competition with the remaining women. That's one thing. There's another common belief that men are only interested in women much younger than them. So, a woman in her, say, 60s and 70s who's looking for a man, more or less about that same age, he's only looking for women who are in their 50s or maybe even 40s or something like that. And then there's just this sort of societal belief that, that an older woman is just too late for her. You even sometimes hear these crazy kind of statements like, I don't know if you've heard this yourself, but I've heard these couple different variations, which is, a woman older than X age, it's less likely that she'll find love than to be struck by lightning or to be, part of a terrorist attack. So, and, these are really crazy statements, and yet you actually hear stuff like this. So, yeah, it's hard to escape this common fear and belief that, maybe at a certain point I'm just too old and it's too late for me. Now, one of the problems is that if you get snagged by this common belief, it makes you very discouraged. You start to feel kind of hopeless and discouraged, and it's like, it's just not going to happen for me. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you'll start to either, avoid trying to meet people, or if if there is a man you start talking to, you may feel sort of defeated in advance, and you're not able to relax and have fun and be yourself. So like I say, it ends up becoming this self-fulfilling prophecy, which ends up making it true even if it's not really true. So the question is, what can you do about this? Well, the first thing to consider is that if you look around you, you've probably noticed that there are other women your age who are able to find people to date and get involved with. You may have a bunch of female friends who all have the same lament that, oh God, I'm too old, it's too late for me. The men are only looking, all the same stuff we already talked about, And so sure, you'll have other female friends that may reinforce this belief. But if you look around, you'll probably see that this is not a universal situation, that there are women in your age range that are finding dates, they're getting involved with people, stuff like that. So it's like, so what's really going on here? Are these women extra special, attractive, extra amazing, and that somehow they're better than you are, and it's, okay, somehow they can do it, but, it's too late for me, I can't do it. They can, but I can't. And really what's going on here is a huge thing is the attitude that you have when you're meeting people and dating. So if you have a warm, friendly, open, optimistic, positive attitude, then you will be able to have dates, find people to date, in spite of all these beliefs of being too old, not enough men are only interested in younger women, all that stuff. Because there are other women who have done it. Just as an example, my mother, when her second husband died, and she actually had a very nice marriage in her second marriage. When he died, she was 70 years old. She went into a year of mourning, and after the end of the year, she ended up joining this thing called the Plato Society, which is in Los Angeles, not to try and meet some guy, but just to have something interesting to do. And within a few weeks, she met her third husband, and this was actually the best marriage of the three. So for her, not only was she able to meet somebody, but she actually went another step up. So it worked out really well for her. And I can think of a lot of different examples. My wife's mother is another example. My wife's grandmother is another example. My grandmother is another example. And again, that's not because, my mother or my grandmother or my wife's mother and grandmother or all these people are like somehow extraordinary, extra special women. It's just the attitude they have. That they are open, they're not discouraged. They weren't even necessarily actively looking. Some of them was, my grandmother actually was, but she in her 80s, met this really cool other 80-year-old gentleman and they started dating. So it is very possible. And really the main obstacle, if you have this belief that you're too old, it's too late, is that belief itself. That is actually the biggest thing interfering. Now there may also be one other factor going on here. Most of us struggle with some degree of feelings of unworthiness and not being lovable enough, not being good enough, things like that. And we may have had this our whole lives, and lots of times we don't have to deal with that underlying belief if we got married at a younger age. So you get married, maybe you were like my mother, you got married all the way up until your husband died, and then all of a sudden here you are at some more mature age looking to try to date again, and then it's like, oh God, it's too late for me. But sometimes what's really going on is a deeper level of not feeling lovable enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy. And then your mind just looks for things to latch on to sort of prove it. It's like, okay, well, if I deep down subconsciously don't feel that I'm good enough, then I'm going to start looking for things that are sort of going to prove it and go, okay, it's too late for me. I'm too old. Other women can do it, not me, and things like that. So that can be yet another deeper factor than just this belief system. But if you have either one of those or both, which as many of us do, not feeling good enough and not feeling worthy were things that I struggled with in my earlier years myself. That was one of the things I had to address in order for me to find the love of my life, which I did. So anyway, what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a little tapping with you to help with the basic belief of being too old, too late, stuff like that. The tapping we're going to do is not going to address any deeper underlying beliefs of not being good enough and not lovable enough and things like that. If you think you might have that kind of thing, I would recommend that you sign up for my free Finding the Love You Want mini course, which will talk about that in much more depth. So you can get some help there. But for right now, we're going to do some tapping. If you don't already know EFT, I have a how to do EFT video, but in the meantime, you can just kind of do as Simon says with me, just tapping wherever you see me tap. So I'm going to be tapping like that during this tapping, and just tap along with me. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it'll still actually work. Okay, so I'm going to say phrases, and then I'm going to give you time to repeat them after me. So we're going to start by tapping under karate chop, pointing the side of the hand, and you just pat the whole side of your hand like that. And just repeat after me. Even though I'm afraid I am too old to find love. And you can say, even though I'm afraid I'm too old to find love, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm afraid I'm too old and it's too late for me, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself with kindness and compassion. Okay, good. So on the top of the head, I'm afraid that I am too old to find love. I'm afraid that it's just too late for me. After all, men live longer than women. So there's less men around to pick from, and more competition with other women. And then I feel not good enough compared to the other women. Also, men like women who are younger than them. And I know that there are men who really feel that way. I know lots of men who only want to date younger women. See how that proves that it's too late for me? There's not enough men to go around. And the men that there are only want to date younger women. So there's nobody left for me. At least that's how it feels. That's what I'm afraid of. And I'm very afraid of that. To the point where I feel like giving up. Or if I am talking to a man, I feel all stiff and awkward. Of course, he's not going to like me then. In fact, if he's talking to me, might that mean that there's a possibility? Otherwise, why would he be talking to me? What if it is possible to meet a man at my age? Not just to meet one, but to meet the right man. There are other women who do it at my age. What if there's not something super special about them? What if they're normal, just like me, but they're just not blocked by that fear and belief that they're too old to find love? What if they're just being open and friendly? What if what's really going on is that my fear is blocking me from meeting somebody wonderful? What if it's not really about age at all? What if it's about there being the right person for me? Just waiting to meet me. Just like I'm wanting to meet him. What if the right man is out there for me? Regardless of my age. Stefan's mother met the best husband she ever had. The love of her life. And her second marriage was actually quite good. But maybe Stefan has some kind of extraordinary mother. Extra attractive. Maybe the guy she's with is much older than her. Actually, he's very close in age to her. My mother is a nice person. She's not extra attractive. But she is warm and friendly. And he was the right man for her. What if there's a right man for me too? What if he's out there waiting for me and wanting to meet me just as much as I'm wanting to meet him? If I just make myself available. What if I can be warm and friendly and relaxed and have fun talking and mingling? What if I can relax and have fun and not worry about scarcity and just enjoy connections until my beloved and I find each other? If other women can do it, why not me? Now I'm going to say something, I'm going to say to you, and I want you to repeat it. And even though I don't know you personally, you're on the other side of this video, obviously, I have a very deep belief that we all have a special, sparkling essence that is unique to us. And when we let our essence through by being relaxed and being ourselves, it's like sending signals out into the universe, and we attract our special partner to us, like a magnet. So when we let our sparkling essence come through, the uniqueness of who we are, the wonderfulness of who we are, and we all have a wonderful essence, then we feel good, and we magnetize that special partner to us. So it doesn't matter how many men there are. What matters is magnetizing your special partner to you. It's not a numbers game. It's not about competition with other women. It's not about men wanting to meet younger women. It's about magnetizing the right man to you. And that all you have to do is be willing to be out in public, can't hide away, and relax and let your natural true self come out. That sparkling core of who you are. And you don't have to put on a special facade. Just let the real you come through. And you will magnetize your special partner to you. And that is true at every age. I don't care if you're 30 or if you're 80. If you can send out your natural being out to the universe, you will magnetize your special match to you. As long as you go out in public. And you're social. And you interact with people. So you're available. So repeat after me. I'm starting to let go of this fear. I'm starting to let go of this belief that I'm too old. It's starting to feel more possible now. I'm even starting to get curious as to who my special someone is and when he might show up. It's actually an exciting possibility. Maybe even a little scary, but also exciting. I wonder who he is. I choose to go out and socialize and focus on having fun. When I focus on having fun, instead of my fears and worries, that's when my sparkling essence comes through. And when my sparkling essence comes through, it sends out signals to the universe, and it magnetizes the right man for me to come to me and for us to find each other, to connect and have a wonderful relationship. And I'm looking forward to that happening. Okay. Take a deep breath. So I would encourage you to repeat this tapping sequence over and over again until you start feeling a lot better. And when you get into a more optimistic place, like, yeah, there are women who can do it. Why not me? I can do this too. And it's just about being open, having, pleasurable interactions, having fun, enjoying connecting with people, and it will happen for you. So I recommend that you keep repeating this tapping sequence until you can get into this really nice positive state. And then you'll see what happens. And I guarantee it's going to be good. As I said before, if deeper feelings of inadequacy, not being good enough, not feeling lovable, things like that seem to be rising up in all this, then I recommend again that you check my mini course and you can find out deeper there. You can also contact me. We can talk about it further. So I hope that was helpful, and look forward to you having some wonderful dating experiences, and I'll catch you the next time. Did you like this video? If so, click on the like button below, subscribe to this channel, and spread the love to your friends. And if you have questions about your love life, please submit them in the comments below, and your question just might appear in an upcoming episode of Love Talk Q&A. Also, if you would like to understand the 3 key blocks to finding love and how to attract your soulmate now, sign up for the free Finding the Love You Want mini course. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, and remember, no matter how long you've been trying, you really can have the life and love you long for. This is Stefan Gonick, International Love Coach from FindingTheLoveYouWant.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Love Talk Q&A.